Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. Troubling new images and video from the Texas border where a reported 12,600 Haitian migrants have been entering Texas from Mexico during the past few weeks. They've been camping out under a bridge near the Texas border city of Del Rio. New images show U.S. border agents on horseback essentially herding Haitian migrants with whips. One of the agents is heard on video by Al Jazeera saying, "This is why your country's shit, because you use women for this." According to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who was in Del Rio today to get an update on the situation, about 3,500 Haitian migrants have been relocated to planes or detention centers in the last few days, and an additional 3,000 were expected to be moved today. He also said an additional 600 DHS personnel have been sent to the border. Here's more of what he had to say earlier today.
If you come to the United States illegally, you will be returned. Your journey will not succeed, and you will be endangering your life and your family's lives. This administration is committed to developing safe, orderly, and humane pathways for migration, but this is not the way to do it.
Congressional Black Caucus Chair Joyce Beatty tweeted earlier today, "I want to express my concern regarding reports of an urgent humanitarian crisis for tens of thousands of displaced Haitians at our southern border. I want to be clear that we are a nation of humanity and rule of law. I will continue to fight to see that refugees are welcome in America, regardless of race or country of origin." Joining me now to discuss is founder and publisher of the Haitian Times, Garry Pierre-Pierre, and former AP correspondent in Haiti, Jon Katz. So, Garry, I just want to get your take on what is happening at the border and the Biden administration's response to it.
Well, last week, the administration was caught off guard by the influx of Haitian migrants heading to the border. And 12,000, and you gave the exact number earlier, got onto U.S. soil. And so I think there was an overreaction by the administration. They just felt that they had to show force to send a message to Haitians not to come. And the situation really got out of control. Those videos are horrific. They harken back to the days of slavery, and something that we in America didn't think that we would have been seeing in 2021, and let alone any other time for that matter. And so now the administration is trying its best to play hardball by really, to some extent, violating international law. Because if somebody is seeking asylum, you need to give them a hearing. Just getting them, putting them on a plane back to their country of origin is not the way the law is supposed to operate. So right there, no one so far has really raised that point adequately. But we have to look at the legality of these deportations.
So, John, let's speak about that, because the Biden administration is essentially using a Trump-era pandemic rule to export or to send these Haitians back to Haiti without a hearing. What do you make of that? And how does, Biden had promised to be, better on immigration and asylum seekers than Trump was, but this feels very much Trumpish.
Yeah, it is horrendously disappointing, to say the least. I can't put myself in the mind of anybody in the administration. They're obviously under pressure from, they're trying to be sort of, in the middle, as they often are in their politics. They're buffeted by, the nativist right. I think without fully appreciating the fact that, for a lot of people in this country, there's no amount of being a hardliner on immigration that will be acceptable to them, short of just, ethnic cleansing.
So, Garry, what are the logistics and also the morality of sending people back to Haiti when we know that the country has basically suffered two natural disasters and a political upheaval?
Well, they know it's not suitable. As a matter of fact, today, I'm sure there were U.S. Personnel in Haiti removing rubble in the southern part of the country. They know the reality. They know that it is very difficult. It's treacherous. They have a hard time getting aid to the southern region. And so the idea that, Haiti all of a sudden, because you want to solve a problem, can absorb these people is ludicrous. And the other point is very important, Charles. These people did not come from Haiti. These people left Haiti about 10, 12 years ago to go to Brazil to work as Brazil was gearing up for the Olympics and the World Cup back then. So after these games were over, Brazil didn't have any use for them, and they just left them on their own. And so at the time, it was easy to get into Chile because you didn't need a visa. So a lot of people went to Chile. Then Chile pushed back against black migrants invading their country. And so they have been trekking for the last couple of years or so up to the border. As a matter of fact, there is a strong, growing Haitian community in Tijuana, Mexico. So Mexico has been, to some extent, be more open to accepting the Haitians to stay in Mexico. And I saw some footage today, Charles, where these people are fluent Spanish speakers. They've been in Latin America and South America for a decade. And so now sending them back to Haiti, to whom? Maybe many of them may not have relatives in Haiti.
And
Yes.
Charles, you don't
John,
have
you
to
wanna
take Gary's word or my word for that. The Biden administration itself says that Haiti is not an acceptable place to send people who are being deported back to. They just extended TPS, temporary protective status, for up to 100,000 people. They just had to have come by this sort of arbitrary date of, I believe it was like late July, which for whatever reason, the people who came, at this point, as Garry said, a lot of them are coming not from Haiti, from South America. I actually, one of my family's good friends they're Haitian. They left Haiti a couple of years after the 2010 earthquake and moved to Brazil. They had been thinking about making this journey. We've actually spent the last couple of weeks trying to talk them out of it. I think that the pictures that they're seeing today may have actually done the trick in convincing them.
Garry, one of the shocking juxtapositions is to see, hundreds of thousands, I guess, at this point, of Afghans processed within a couple of weeks, put on planes, and then brought into the United States, and then to hear the federal government say, we don't have enough processing power for 12,000 people at the southern border. We can't rush enough resources. Just like this was not foreseen, the Afghan government collapsing immediately was also not foreseen, but they responded because they saw it as a true humanitarian crisis. Why do they not see this as the same kind of crisis and flood the zone with the same kinds of kind of vetting resources?
Well, they panicked. They worry about the right. The elections are coming, midterms pretty soon, and they don't want to give them an issue. But the reality, as Jonathan said, no matter what you do, they're going to pounce on you. And to your point, Charles, about the inability to process these people, that's ridiculous. We know that. The U.S. government has the capacity to do so. First of all, these people are not, any intelligence risk, any terrorist risk. There's very little of that among those groups that are at the border right now. And so, I split my time between Indiana and New York, and there's jobs everywhere. They cannot fill jobs in this country right now. So I think a lot of businesses could use 12,000 Spanish speakers who can really fill those jobs that they need to fill. And so, Biden is trying to thread the middle, and they need to really have a position.
John, what responsibility did the U.S. government have for the conditions that these people are living in underneath this bridge? It's 12,000 people. I cannot imagine, including children, by the way, I cannot imagine that it's sanitary enough. I cannot imagine that, that it is the kind of right conditions for anyone to be living, particularly in the middle of a global pandemic. What responsibility does the U.S. government have to rectify this situation in a timely manner?
There's a huge responsibility from a number of different angles. I mean, like speaking for myself, I'm the great grandson of refugees and economic migrants from Europe. They were, escaping the lynching, the pogroms of Russia. And, they came and found shelter in America and made lives here. And there's no reason why the people who are trying to cross, this dam along the Rio Grande can't do the same. Even beyond that, the United States has played a huge role in the privation that the people who, again, many of them have made intermediate stops. They were in Brazil, they were in Chile, but, most of them, they're Haitian, they left Haiti. And the United States has played a huge role in immiserating Haiti, both through the occupation of 1915 to 1934, all of the interferences and invasions and coups done by and with the United States through the 20th and early 21st century. We have a huge responsibility for the problems that are happening there now. And, frankly, go back to the disaster that a lot of these people fled in the first place in the 2010 earthquake. That was a overtly militarized response. And ironically, it was a response that was focused on the wrong thing. It was trying to avoid a migrant outflow at that time, and so Haiti wasn't rebuilt, which just ended up immiserating the country even more, which ironically has now led to the long feared, flow of migrants back to the United States. But they're here, and this country, give us your tired, you're poor. Like that is one vision of what the United States is, and I think it's the best vision of what the United States is.
With one exception, that they're not black.
Garry Pierre-Pierre and Jon Katz, thank you both for joining me. We're going to stay on top of this story.